Hello students, good morning, and today I am discussing about the nervous system in human as a whole. So nervous system, when you talk about it, is the three components mainly. So nervous system, when you are talking about, so just remember the important points of the system. That is, the components are CNS, central nervous system, and has been divided into three main components: CNS, and then PNS, and then ANS, autonomic nervous system. Central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system. So students, you just can understand this in this way, that central nervous system means brain and spinal cord. So it is coordinating the impulses from the body to the brain and from the brain to the body parts through the spinal cord. So this is central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system means all the peripheral parts, the sides of the body, this both the sides, the limbs, both the limbs, the lower and upper limbs, to say. So all these impulses are being transmitted, being carried to the spinal cord and to the brain. So this is happening in the peripheral nervous system by the spinal nerves and the cranial nerves. So this is peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system is the process where we don't have a direct control. So there are again two components: sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So these are the three important parts. Central nervous system, the center of the process, the transmission of impulses from body parts to brain through spinal cord, or in case of reflexes, straight to the center of the reflexes, that is the spinal cord, and back to the receptor part, the receptor muscles. So this is happening in the CNS. So brain is a commander, brain is the headquarter, brain is the center, as we all know. So brain is having is being protected by the cranium box, the cranial bones, and also by the meninges. Where CSF is also there, that is the cerebrospinal fluid. So this is the protection of the brain. So because it is so important from the any mechanical shock or injury, it is being protected. Now the important parts of the brain are the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the medulla oblongata. Cerebrum is the bulk of the brain, as you all know, and it controls the conscious and unconscious mind and memory, etc. So whatever we do consciously and unconsciously is mainly controlled by the cerebrum, along with the memory fact. Whenever we are able to remember something, it is because of the cerebrum of the brain. And then this cerebellum, which controls the balance of the body. So whenever we are maintaining the balance of our body while sitting, standing, running, walking, this is all because of the cerebellum. And the coordination of the muscular activities also is being controlled by the cerebellum. And then the medulla oblongata, as we all have understood, it controls all the involuntary movements inside the body, like heartbeats, like peristalsis, like breathing, etc. So this is controlled by the medulla oblongata, which continues as the spinal cord to the second up to the second lumbar vertebrae. So you have to understand these points very clearly. Then you will not have any difficulty in understanding this system. So CNS, we were talking CNS, brain and brain and spinal cord. So spinal cord, brain we have talked just now. Spinal cord, what is it? It is a cylindrical structure located in the spinal case inside the vertebral column. Is also protected by meninges and your CSF. And spinal cord is so delicate that it is the one of the main parts of the body, because it is having segments, 31 segments it is having, and from each segment in the both sides a pair of nerve is emerging. So these nerves are so important that they are carrying the sensory impulses from body parts to the brain through spinal cord, and they are also transmitting the impulses, the motor impulses, the instructions from the brain through the spinal cord, so to all parts of the body. And spinal cord is the center of the reflex actions also. So there it is so important, children. And these 31 segments, the nerves are emerging, 31 pairs of nerves are emerging, and they are emerging from 2 points, the dorsal point and the ventral point. So these nerves are generally, spinal nerves are generally mixed nerves, because they are attached to 2 points on the spinal cord, dorsal and ventral points. So students, you can understand that this is very important again, this spinal cord. And brain and spinal cord we have talked about, that is, you just remember clearly, CNS means brain and spinal cord. Now we come to PNS, peripheral nervous system. So peripheral nervous system means the process in the periphery. So the impulses are coming to the spinal cord, then to the brain, and then in reflex action it is coming direct to the spinal cord. So in the PNS, your spinal nerves are there, through which the process is happening in the periphery, and the cranial nerves are there. So spinal nerves, there are, as I said, there are 31 pairs. So spinal nerves are 31 pairs emerging from the segments from the dorsal and ventral side points. So they are, students, your eight pairs in the cervical region, 12 pairs in the thoracic region, 5 pairs in the lumbar region, and 5 pairs in the sacral region, and 1 in the coccygeal region. So this is the distribution of the spinal nerves in the peripheral nervous system. 8 pairs are in the cervical region, in the neck region, 12 pairs are in the thoracic region, that is the chest region, and 5 pairs are in the lumbar, in the waist, in the area where the waist is there, and sacral is the frontal side, below the abdomen, that is 5 pairs are there, because the spinal cord is running up to the second lumbar vertebrae. And the one pair is coccygeal, is the tailbone area where there is one pair. So student, this is the distribution of the spinal nerve as I said, and cranial nerves are above the neck in the head, and they are of 12 pairs. Their cranial nerves are 12 pairs. So they are distributed in the above the neck in the head. So their transmission of impulses are taking place through cranial nerves, in the face, in the head, and in the periphery, right from the below the neck to the limbs, end part of the limbs. It is through the spinal nerves. Though they are emerging from the spinal nerves, from the spinal cord, but they are carrying the impulses to these sides. So both the sides of the body. So these impulses are being carried or distributed to the entire body. So this is the structure of the PNS, peripheral nervous system. Your spinal nerves and cranial nerves, they are constituting this system in the periphery. And autonomic nervous system, student, you have to remember that some functions are taking place which are not in our control. So two systems are controlling this. They are sympathetic and parasympathetic. If the heartbeat has become very fast, if the peristalsis is reversed or is not happening properly, is not in order, so what happens is the parasympathetic nervous system restores it back to the normal position. If the heartbeat is very fast, it will make it normal. If the peristalsis is very fast or it is reversed, then it will make it normal, back to the normal position. So these things are taking place where we do not have any direct control by the autonomic nervous system. So student, this is in short about the overall nervous system in human. So you remember the salient features, the important factors, and I think that will suffice to excel in your exams. So with that, I wish you the very best and wish to come back with some other important topic. Till then, thank you and goodbye.